Welcome again, my friends. Well, this is a piece of spalted cherry. It doesn't appear to be very punky, right down in here just a little bit. Now, my original thought, this pretty big piece, was to make a natural edge bowl because the bark looked pretty good until I started looking at it. And then I said, well, I don't believe that'll work. So, I'm going to make a traditional bowl, maybe. And I've already got, I'll get the rest of that off in a minute, but I've already got my circle drawn. This is a 13-inch circle, and that's a 6-inch, and I'm going to put this 6-inch faceplate on it. The reason I do the little one is it just makes it easy to center your faceplate. 6-inch faceplate, 6-inch circle, and there's your center. So I'm going to get this bark off and go over to the bandsaw and just knock the corners off, and then we'll put it on the leaf and we'll whirl it up. Well, as usual, a little change of plans. I started sawing this off. I had a big old rotten spot, so by the time I got it whittled down to where it wasn't a real bad spot, I ended up with a 11-inch bowl rather than a 13. So naturally my old center is no good anymore, so I got to find me another one. So I'll come out here to 11 inches. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, right about there. There. That looking good right there. So now I'm going to make me a 6-inch hole, 6-inch circle right here, and this will be my new center. Uh-oh. Well, got company. I better get out there before the dog eats him up. Around the center, so I can center my faceplate. So, that ought to do it. It'll be the black ring. Basically, I'm going to put it right here on the black one and center it. Then I'm going to use long screws because this may be a little punky inside, and I would be concerned about the screws holding. So I'll get that done, put it on the leaf, and we'll whirl it up. And I'm going to start off with my beaver. Oh, Bessie. Well, it's there already, and I'm going to come in this way. I may clean it up a little. Sounds like somebody got 40 or 50 BB guns shooting me in the face shield with this thing. Let's see if I can't clean it up a little bit. Get rid of that real rough look. It's going to weigh one pretty bowl, but it's going to take some stabilizing of sorts. Well, I don't see any way that this is going to come off there with 8 long screws in it, so I'm going to back this off and come in from the front. Ooh, Bessie. Okay. We've got a lot more to go. I'm gonna bring this down some more. I don't like the way it looks. So it really cuts easy. Now it's a little bit of a decision time. I already made my mind up, but I'm gonna explain to you how I get to where I'm going. Okay, now what you got to do is decide whether you want either a tenon or a recess. Now there's several factors involved. I think number one is you have to analyze your wood. This wood is really not real stable. So it would have a tendency to crack. Okay, the other one is if you decide to go with the recess, you've got to make sure that you've got lots of meat outside your recess because you're going to be expanding. And I wouldn't trust this particular kind of wood for that because I'm going to bring this down. So I want to have a whole lot there. So I'm going to go with a tenon because it's in compression mode. And what I'll do is I will saturate the area even under a tenon in some thin CA. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up to here. Let's see what we got. Whoa, Betsy. All right, we're almost there. We're there close enough. Okay, I think I'm going to take, I'm going to get just a little more of this off. I don't want that little piece of bark there. And look at the end grain. That's what the beaver does. It cuts it off. I'm telling you. You can see how I'm whittling this thing down. All right, up. That ought to work. I like to cut on center. It doesn't matter what tool I use. Come in here just like that. I'm thinking now, a little sandpaper and put that boiled linseed oil on it and give it an hour or so to set, and then we'll flip it around and knock the inside out. It shouldn't take long. I'll catch you in just a little while. I've got a coating of boiled linseed oil on it and I'm waiting to see how much of it soaks in, but I just want you to see how pretty this is going to be. I'm going to leave it to natural color, you know, well, with the oil naturally. I'm getting ready to drill my depth hole here. I'm going to use a spade bit. When you use a spade bit, don't forget to calculate the distance of this point right here. I did that one time and it didn't work so well. So I'm going to give this a whirl and we'll go down to this black mark right there. So there we are. I'm ready to start. I put the live center back in the hole. It's just for safety until I'm sure that my tenon's going to hold up. So I'm going to get my beaver out now and start whittling. I think maybe I ought to put a tool rest on first. It'll work a little better. lever so I get my height set. I got a stop on this, but for some reason I don't seem to use it very often. Bring this in here right to here. There you go. There you go, I am running 1100. Right, I gotta go get some air. I think I need to come right in here. Bottom's still awful thick, but I think I can come down in the bottom too. We are good, my friends. I can sand that out now. My goodness, that's going to be a pretty ball. Okay, I'm soaking her down with boiled linseed oil now. It takes it. I'll do this a few times until I don't have any real dull spots. And I'll let it sit up and I'll come back with some cellulose sealer on top of that. That gives me my sanding base. This stuff sands well, sands easy, and it sands smooth. It's extremely good for something that's fairly porous. This is not that porous, but it is on the verge of being punky. Just not quite there. A little bit longer than it would have been. All right. I'm going to let that soak a little while, and I'll be back and put about 2 more coats on it. And that's where we'll be. This is a sort of a how-to tip of the video. Yesterday, I saw this stuff here. A friend of mine gave me this, and what it was a piece of a railroad tie. And according to him, whatever railroad company it was, experimented making ties out of exotic woods for a while. And why they quit, I don't really know. But anyway, he had a piece of one, so I put it on here, and I sawed it yesterday. I made this square out of it. I made this ready to turn here. But you could actually see sparks flying at times. I mean, this stuff is, listen to that, so hard. I don't know if I can turn it or not. But to make a long story short, it dulled the you-know-what out of my bandsaw blade. This is a 2 TPI. So I thought I would show you quickly how to sharpen one. First place, you better make sure it's off or unplugged or whatever. And I use a Dremel. A lot of people take them off and run them across the table. I find it's a whole lot easier to do it this way. And what you do is you make sure you start on the weld so you know where to start and stop. And get you a Dremel with a little, with a little grinding wheel on it. You can see this already. That black, that's tar. This still smells like tar. I didn't think it penetrated that far, but obviously it did. So these may end up being door stops. I'm going to put that other one on the lathe maybe tomorrow and see how it does. But anyway, here's how you do it, my friends. I use my sled and I put it right here. It gives me a real nice place right here. And you put it about half speed. You come down here and you do this. Move it to the next one. And all you're doing is sort of like sharpening a carbide tool or something, see? I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way. Normally I wouldn't. So you're sharpening the back side is what you're doing here. Maybe that's not in the way. I don't have any real good lights right here, sorry. And I'm fighting the window, so I was afraid it might blank it out. Alright, that's how you do it. It takes a while. These tips are really sharp now compared to where they were. So that's your how-to or tip of the video. Let's get on with finishing that spalted bowl. It's all dried now. It has several, maybe 3 or 4 coats of boiled linseed oil. And then the cellulose sealer, and I let it sit all night long. I've taken in, very briefly went over it with some, this is single aught steel wool, and that's cleaned it up. It has, I see absolutely no tool marks, and it is pretty smooth. And all I'm going to do to this is to shine it up a little bit, and now I'm going to flip it around and cut the tenon off and go over to the laser. If it fits in the laser, and put my signature on the bottom, and do a little bit of, I'll have to, finish the bottom naturally. And this bowl will be done. So let's just whirl this thing up a little bit and see if I can, take my old chair thing, which is about gone now, and just put a little bit of a shine on it. Doesn't take much. Actually, sealer itself will buff. Just that simple. I don't want a shiny finish, I want a matte finish, so this will work fine. With something like this that has it's not funky, but it has like indentions in the wood. If you put a shiny finish on it, it would make those sort of exaggerated and show up more. So actually this is a better finish. Plus it's a food safe finish. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Alright, I think that looks nice. I'm going to call this part of it done. I'm going to flip it around and cut the tenon off and finish it, and I'll get back with you. Even doing something as simple as this. Alright, go ahead and use my face shield. Simply because you never know. So let's see how bad it is. It ain't bad. So I'm going to use a square cutter and whittle this thing down a little bit. You have to come in gentle because it's only half full on with a pin chuck. When I say I see the laser work, I mean that literally, because my laser will only accommodate something right at 10.5 inches in diameter, and this pushes the limit. So we'll just have to get it over there and see. Well, unfortunately it wouldn't fit in my laser, So I ended up just burning the bottom, but there it is, it's a finished product. I just sort of buffed up the sealer. I didn't bother putting anything else on it. It's got like 3 coats of boiled linseed oil soaking in from both sides. And then it's got the cellulose, it's a Minwax product, sealer, about 2 coats of it. And there you are, my friends. That's 10.5 inches by about 5 inches deep. Beautiful bowl. Let me get it where you can see the bottom. There you go, it gives you a better view of the inside and the bottom. Okay, well, I really appreciate you guys watching, and if you so desire, please subscribe, and let's just keep it whirling, okay? Goodbye.